are doing it. So it's been 3 or 4 years since you've been to Brazil last time. How does it feel to be back?
Oh, great. It's a great place to come and work. You know, Rio's a great city. Brazil's a nice place, nice people, etc.
Nice people. Can you see nice people here?
Nice weather, you know. So, what's not to like?
Uh-huh. What has changed in your music over these years? Once you gotten older and had kids, did it affect your music?
I guess maybe it affects the way you approach music. I certainly don't do as much of it. I don't know whether it affects the actual music itself. I don't know. I'm too close to it to tell you. Really, you'd have to tell me. You know, I'm not. I don't know.
I think it has changed it a lot.
Yeah. Well,
do you still think Oasis is the best band, the rock and roll band around the world? Do you still think about it?
I don't really think of it in terms like that. I mean, you know, there's lots of great bands. You'd have to ask who decides those things anyway. We're the best rock and roll band in my world. You know, that's all that's all I'm bothered about. But there's lots of other good bands, I guess.
You have written in your blog, I think, that Oasis is passing through a bad moment. What did you mean about that?
Maybe we're a bit too long in the tooth for this tour. You know, it's been long time away from home.
This new album, The Audio Soul, got some outstanding comparisons with the Beatles' Revolver. I'd like to know first if you take as a compliment and if you really believe there are similarities between both albums.
Well, I take it as a compliment that anybody would compare us to the Beatles, and particularly those albums. Yeah. But I don't think it compares with the Beatles at all. You know, but if you know, other people are allowed to say that, but I wouldn't say that. It's not for me to say, is it? I don't know what my music sounds like. I guess you would listen to my music in a completely different perspective than I would listen to it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You would maybe listen to it for pleasure, whereas it's work to me. So I maybe listen to it too much.
But I have also pleasure doing that.
Well, no, I know, but I mean, if we were to put on any Oasis CD, you would listen to it for what it is. I would maybe listen to it in a different way. Like with my eyes. Or something.
Okay. You claim to not care about critics, but especially in this case, The Audio Soul got some rave reviews and positive critics. Does it make you feel happy? Come on, man, bare soul here.
Not really. Well, in the same way that when our music gets criticised in a bad way, it doesn't make me feel bad. You know, it's just I don't care what people say, as long as when I come out of the studio, I've done my best. Then that's all that matters to me. Everybody's allowed their opinion. Everybody's allowed to say whether they like it or not. You know, I don't think everybody in the world should like my music. You know, and I don't think I should like everybody else's music. You know, it's all about opinions anyway, isn't it?
All right. Okay, each member of the band in this album had a contribution in it, writing at least one track on this new album. It means that you are more democratic or less inspired, maybe?
Not less inspired. Not on this album. I was more inspired on this album, but the rest of the band have been writing songs for the last 3 albums, which is over maybe nearly 10 years now. So it's not a new thing. It's just it seems that everybody seems to have focused on that side of it this time. But in the past I was a lot less inspired. But not now. I've got loads of songs. Too many, as a matter of fact.
Is it true that by the time you joined the band, I think you were in London working as a guitar technician?
I wasn't in London, but I was in Manchester.
In Manchester, when you went back there, you see your brother with a band. You agreed to join them under the condition to have the complete control.
Well, that's kind of the story that was put around. Not really. I'd never seen his band. My mother told me that he joined the band as a singer, which I found highly amusing, and he asked me to join, and I said, yeah, okay, but I didn't say, right, well, everybody must do as I say. It just so happened that I started to play them my songs, and my songs are better than anybody else's, so I just kept on writing. But yeah, it's not strictly true. Although it is kind of true, it's not strictly true.
All right. Talking about one of your best compositions, of your best songs, do you really have pleasure to play Wonderwall, or you do it only to please your fans and they ask for it?
We didn't play it for a long time. I didn't really play it with any kind of spirit for a long time. But now I really like it. You know.
Are you going to play it tonight?
Tonight, no.
No?
Of course we are. Yeah. We're playing it tonight.
There's a lot of people out there asking to listen to On the Wall.
Yeah, we'll play it tonight.
What about I'm the Walrus? Is it?
Yeah. We're playing I'm the Walrus. We're not going to go through the set list now, though, are we?
No problem.
Okay.
This tune is okay.
Okay, yeah.
You've been very critical with other band's fans.
Oh, really?
What about the Oasis fans?
What about them?
Do you think they're different?
I don't know. I don't know. The ones that I meet, they all seem completely normal to me. I don't think Oasis fans just like Oasis, you know what I mean? I'm sure there's one or two that even like REM. Is there? There must be one.
Yeah, but you think it's possible to like Oasis and Blur and
of course.
Verve and other British bands?
Yeah, I mean, I don't just like Oasis and the Beatles, you know. Yeah, no, they seem all right to me. Some of them, you know, there's like a cross section of ordinary people. Do you know what I mean? Some of them get very excited. Some of them are kind of pretty cool. You know, some of them are a little crazy. Some of them, you know, some of them are arseholes. Some of them are great. They're just normal people. Do you know what I mean? I don't really get to meet them a lot. You know, when I do meet them, they're always very respectful to me, and I sign autographs and do pictures if I can stomach it, and then we go our separate ways. You know?
Right. Charles the Prince shows up in the end of the video, falling down. Are you guys close to him?
No. No.
How did it happen?
I don't really get involved in the making of videos. That's not something I like. But our friend who's the video maker, he decided that it was a good idea, so we just let him get on with it.
And put Charles over there.
Put Charles the Prince on it. Yeah.
What are you listening to nowadays? Is there any new band that takes your attention that you
I like Kasabian.
Kasabian?
I like Newer than Kasabian. Yeah. There's a band from, I don't know where they're from, called the Detroit Social Club. I like those. I've only heard a couple of things. No, I don't really get a chance to listen to much new music. So
you're about to step on the stage here in Brazil once again, and I'd like to know if you prepare anything special, and what have you prepared to the Brazilian fans tonight?
Well, you know, I think we play 6 songs off our new album. And then we play lots of famous songs off all the other albums, so I think everybody will have a good night. There's something for everybody, I think.
All right.
We don't really prepare anything special for any different fans in any different country. We treat them all the same.
So that's it now.
Eu sou Edgar Piccoli, falando diretamente aqui de onde acontece a apresentação ao vivo do Oasis, a 4ª no Brasil. Os caras dessa vez vêm com a turnê Dig Out Your Soul. Tiveram aqui em 98 a primeira vez, depois em 2001 no Rock in Rio, em 2006 uma apresentação em São Paulo e agora para divulgar esse disco que foi lançado no ano passado. O palco já está pronto, você em casa está pronto? Então daqui a pouquinho, Oasis ao vivo, que prometem uma apresentação totalmente ensandecida com vários clássicos da carreira. As luzes se apagaram agora, o som já está rolando e você acompanha a partir de agora no Multishow. Oasis ao vivo, turnê Dig Out Your Soul. Oasis ao vivo é só no Multishow. Vamos pro palco já, divirta-se!
the city, and there's no easy way out. The days moving just too fast for me. I need some time in the sunshine. I gotta slow it right down. The days moving just too fast for me. I live my life on the stars that shine, and people say it's just a waste of time. And then they said I should beat my head. Well, that time me was just a day in bed. I'm gonna take my car and drive real fast. You're not concerned about the way we are. In my mind, my dreams are real. I know you're concerned about the way I feel. Tonight, I'm a rock and roll star. Tonight, I'm a rock and roll star. I live my life on the city, and there's no easy way out. The time's moving just too fast for me. I need some time in the sunshine. I gotta slow it right down. The time's moving just too fast for me. I live my life for the stars that shine, and people say it's just a waste of time. And then they said I should be my head. Well, that time me was just a day in bed. I'm gonna take my car and drive real fast. You're not concerned about the way we are. 'Cause in my mind, my dreams are real. I know you're concerned about the way I feel. Tonight, I'm a rock and roll star. Tonight, I'm a rock and roll star. Tonight, I'm a rock and roll star. just rock and roll. It's just rock and roll. It's just rock and roll. It's just rock and roll. With a load of fucking soul. Well, it's good to be back here in Rio.
Love Anybody here from Rio?
Say show you that I mean it so. I'm taking a look tonight. Nice one. I still don't know what I was waiting for. Big love to fall down from the sky. She took my hand and picked me up off the floor. She put an apple in my eye. I said come get me off the merry-go-round. Now feed me and then bring me down. She come up to me, I can't remember what she said, 'cause I was in a trance and I forgot it all. Banging on her bottle, revolution in her head. She made a lover seem so magical. She said, I'm come get me off the merry-go-round. And heaven must have sent you to save me for the rapture. Come get me off the merry-go-round. Come feed me and then bring me down. You the Obrigado, Reginero. It's been a long time since we played in this room. We've had 4 drummers since then. This is the latest one. His name is Chris and he's from Liverpool. Thank you very much. There he is, right there. If you go onto Copacabana Beach and you see the statue of the Christ, he's not there tonight. He's there. He's the Christ. This next song is called The Master Plan. Thank you very much. Time to make some sense of what you want to say. I cast your words away upon the waves. Sail them home with acquiesce on a ship of hope today. And as they land upon the shore, Tell them not to fear no more. Say it loud and sing it proud today. And dance if you wanna dance. Please, brother, take a chance. You know they're gonna go which way they wanna go. We know is it we don't know how it's gonna be. Please, brother, let it be. Life on the other hand won't make us understand. We're all part of a master plan. Say it loud and sing it proud today. I'm not saying right is wrong. It's up to us to make the best of all the things that'll come our way. Everything that's been is past. The answer's in the looking glass. It's 4 and 20 million doors on life's endless corridor. If you say it loud and sing it proud, and they'll dance if they wanna dance. Please, brother, take a chance. You know they're gonna go which way they wanna go. We know is it we don't know how it's gonna be. Please, brother, let it be. Life on the other hand won't make us understand. We're all part of a massive plan. Part of a master plan. Thank you very much. Talking to a songbird yesterday. We went to a place not far away. She's a little pirate in my mind, singing songs of love to pass the time. Gonna write a song so she can see. Give her all the love she gives to me. Talk of better days that are yet to come. Never felt this love power anyone. She's not anyone. She's not anyone. She's not anyone. A man can never dream these kind of things, especially when she came and spread her wings. Whispered in my ear the things I like. Then she flew away into the night. Gonna write a song so she can sing. Give her all the love she gives to goals. Sliding, baby, together we'll fly. And I'm trying to break, but I don't know what you're saying to me. And now that you're mine, we'll find a way of chasing the sun. Let me be the one that shines with you. And in the morning, we both know what to do. We're two of a kind. We'll find a way. Just do what we've done. So let me be the one that shines with you, and we can slide away. Slide away. Slide away. Chasing the sun. Let me be the one that shines with you. And in the morning, we both know what to do. We're two of a kind. We'll find a way. Just do what we've done. So let me be the one that shines with you, and we can slide away. Slide away. Slide away.
How's it sounding out there? All right.
You could make it there at the end.
Is it? It's like all it's said, I like. You're sounding good.
For the second time, 'cause the man don't pay me. I begged my landlord for some more time, but he said, son, the bills are waiting. Called me the other night, he said, man, are you crazy? The girlfriend told me to get a life. She said, boy, you summertime, 'cause it don't stop raining. The sky all day is as black as night, but I'm not complaining. Dropped him for one more line. He said, son, the words fail me. No place to be killing time, and I guess I'm just lazy. I don't mind, long as there's a bed beneath the stars that shine. Well, I'll be fine. Give me a minute, that's got a limit. Can't get it right with my heart's not in it. Yeah, yeah. Right, thank you.
Here's a song. It reminds me of when we were young. Looking back at all the things we've done. We gotta keep on keeping on. Out to sea is the only place I honestly get myself some peace of mind. You know it's getting hard to fly. If birds are fall, would you be there to applaud, or would you hide behind them all? 'Cause if I had to go, am I not to grow? And that's why you belong. If I had to count, am I not to crown? And that's where you belong. And to count, would you be there to applaud, or would you hide behind them all? 'Cause if I had to count, am I not to crown? And that's where you belong.
Nice one. Right, we're going to do a song called Wonderwall. Apparently it's pretty good.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you turn to somehow you knows what you got to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the word is on the street, but the fire in your head is out. I'm sure you heard it all before, you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. I know the roads we have to walk and wind
Alright, this is the last song, man. Words can't describe how fucking cool you are.
Fall.
Oi, Jonas, pode falar comigo? Uau, sensacional! Oasis ao vivo no Brasil, Diga Audio Show. Exclusividade para quem está assistindo aqui o Multishow, a gente levando até a tua casa essa apresentação antológica de rock and roll desses britânicos. O público está esperando pro bis e não vai esperar mais, nem vocês de casa, que eles voltam para mais algumas músicas, eu acho que umas 4. Segundo.
Thank you very much. Nice shirt.
Slip inside the eye of your mind, and don't you know you might find a better place today. You said that you'd never be, but all the things that you've seen will slowly fade away. Gonna start a revolution from my bed. They said the brains I had went to my head. Step outside, 'cause summertime's stand up beside the fireplace. Take that look from off your face. You ain't never gonna burn my heart out. Where you go, where nobody knows. Well, if it's night or day, please don't put your life in the hands of a rock and roll band. Throw it all away. So I start a revolution from my bed. Said the brains I had to my head. Step outside, 'cause summertime's blue. Stand up beside the fireplace. Take that look from off your face. You ain't never gonna burn my heart out. But don't look back in anger. Don't look back in anger. I heard you say it's not today.
Thank you very much.
Save me, please don't waste my time.
Champagne Supernova.
Special people change. How many lives to live strange? Where were you while we were getting high? Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball. Where were you while we were getting high? Someday you will find me company for the last night in a champagne supernova in the sky. Someday you will find me company for the last night in a champagne supernova, a champagne supernova in the sky. Wake up at dawn and ask her why. Dream a dream, she never dies. Wipe that tear away now from your eye. Slowly walking down, faster than a cannonball. Where were you while we were getting high? Someday you will find me company for last night in a champagne supernova in the sky. Someday you will find me company for last night in a champagne supernova, a champagne supernova. Cause people believe that they're gonna get away for the summer. But you and I will live and die. The world still spinning around. We don't know why. Why? How many special people change? How many lives to live strange? Where were you while we were getting high? Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball. Where were you while we were getting high? Someday you will find me company for last night in a champagne supernova in the sky. Someday you will find me company for last night in a champagne supernova, starts a little strange. Where were you while we were getting high? We were getting high. 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 Thank you.
All right, this is the last one. We're out of here. You've been amazing.
T-shirts, stupid bloody Tuesday night. You've been a naughty boy, you let your face grow long. 'Cause I am the Eggman, and they are the Eggman, and I am the walrus. Pikachu, I miss that city policeman, city hero, policeman, and I run. See how they fly like Lucy in the sky, see how they run. I'm crying. Like a fish, white pornographic beast is born. You've been a naughty girl, you let your knickers down. I am the Eggman, and they are the Eggman, and I am the walrus. Cuckoo-cuckoo. So long, coming back to town from standing in the English rain. 'Cause I am the Eggman, and they are the Eggman, and I am the walrus. Shout. Expert, choker, smoker, I'm champion, the choker, I see it. See how they smile like pigs in a sty, see how they style. I'm crying. Suddenly a real chance. Come on around the Eiffel Tower. And I let you penguin sing it. Hare Krishna, man, you should have seen a kicking at the round bow. 'Cause I am the Eggman, and they are the Eggman, and I am the walrus. Shout. take again. The choo-choo-choo bar. The choo-choo-choo bar. The choo-choo-choo bar. The choo-choo-choo bar. The choo-choo-choo bar.